I just want to know, were you guys even surprised? Were you that surprised? Were you surprised by that performance by Spain yesterday? You were probably surprised by the performance by France. I'll give you that. But were you surprised that Spain made it look so damn easy? Honestly, tell me in the comment section, people. Were you that surprised by Spain? Spain does this. They does this. Yeah? I know it's grammatically incorrect, but they does this. They've been doing this. They have shown us that they can do this. Why are we surprised, people? France nil, Spain 2. Spain into the World Cup finals. France playing in the third place playoff. Let's get into it. Like, genuinely, people, like, listen, I think the only thing that can surprise people is the level of performance from France in that game. I think that's the only thing that we could potentially look at, because there's no way that we can be surprised by Spain. Yes, even I've said multiple times throughout this tournament, Spain haven't looked that good. Spain have been a little bit underwhelming. Spain this, Spain that, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. Did I have an inkling before the game that France might win? Yeah, of course I did. It's France. Like, and I think one of the things that's been bugging me more than anything, before we even get into the match itself, one of the things that bugs me is that people watch these kind of games and everything is reactionary, right? Listen, Twitter is just a cesspool of just nonsense, right? But everybody is so reactionary. You've either got someone calling Rodri the best thing since, sliced bread, I mean, the second coming of Jesus, or you've got people saying, oh, Elise is not even really that good. Like, is Mbappe really? Guys, they are. Let's stop doing that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, let's stop looking at it through a lens of one game and it being the kind of absolute statements that I'm kind of seeing online, because it's not that deep. I promise you, it's actually not that deep, right? You're talking about two elite teams. Forget what Spain did. We'll get into that, but they're two elite teams. This can happen. These things can. We saw PSG versus Bayern. We saw the way everybody was talking about it. We heard, yeah, listen, yo, Bayern, they might be able to. No, it's PSG. It's PSG at the end of the day. This is the best team in the world. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, now, whether you think Spain are the best team, I think they are, but I'm biased. But whether you think Spain are the best team in the world or not, you're talking about an elite team with elite players, Ballon d'Or winners on both teams, It's very rare you get those kind of games where you got Ballon d'Or winners on both teams. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's crazy because the Ballon d'Or winners on both teams are not the players that you would think would have gotten the Ballon d'Or, but they are. That's how elite those teams are. That the players that you would think would have the Ballon d'Or, they're not them. And you know what I mean? They are not them. The two other players that you might think would probably have the Ballon d'Or on both of these two sets of teams didn't even play that well yesterday. Didn't even play that well yesterday. But when we're looking at, France versus Spain, if we're just talking about the game as an overall before I look at the two teams, listen, Spain just did Spain stuff. Like, as in, there's nothing else I can really even say on that in itself, right? I don't know how much more I can get into it, but I will try. Spain just did what they do. This is Spain. This is how they play. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I think I heard Thierry Henry talking about it, at the end of the game, DNA, philosophy, and all these. It's just Spain. It's just Spain. If they're able to execute whatever it is that they try to do, they're better than any other team in the world. Any team. There's no team in the world better than Spain in terms of national teams who can execute a plan better. Now, that's not to say that they are always going to be able to execute that said plan. Of course not. You know what I'm trying to say? But if we're just talking, if you have a plan and once it gets executed, what does that look like? Yeah, Spain are the best at that. So France, as brilliant as I think France are, with all the players, Elise, Mbappe, Dembele, Doué, Barcola, Kone, Chouameni, Rabiot, you got Saliba at the back. Like, with all of these players, it won't matter. It won't matter. And we saw that last night, guys. We saw that last night in the game, man. It was just Spain. I'm not going to disrespect and say, oh, yeah, Spain didn't come out of first gear or nothing, but they didn't seem stressed. I'll tell you that much. Like it just seemed like, yeah, okay, look, we're just gonna come here, do our thing. We're gonna stifle when we need to stifle. We're gonna control when we need to control. We're gonna penetrate and attack when we need to do those two things. And that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. And I think they executed their plan absolutely well. France couldn't do anything. I think they were in a position where it was like once the game was kind of lost, and I felt like even at 1-0, as dangerous as the scoreline as that is, but it was almost just like it felt, yeah, the game's already kind of gone. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not gaining control here. We're never going to gain control in this kind of match unless there needed to be like a swing. And yes, you can have those kind of moments, right, within games and stuff like that. Listen, things can happen, a penalty or whatever, but it just felt that that was going to be the only way. There was no other way. It didn't really matter what you did. It didn't matter how you did it. Spain were just going to do whatever it is Spain were going to do. And ultimately, that's kind of what happened, man. But let's take a look at the two teams anyway. And I think we'll start off with France. So when we're looking at France, right? Listen, like I said, brilliant team. Like, and I need to stress this because, like, again, I just felt like the way people were talking after the game and even during the game, it was just disrespectful. I felt. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it just almost felt as if like everything everybody has been saying prior to this match, all of a sudden now it's almost like they're having to eat their own words because of what they're seeing. Listen, we'll get onto Spain in a minute, right? But when we're talking about France in this game, particularly, like I say, Mbappe, obviously anonymous, throughout the entire game. Was it his fault? No, no. I wouldn't say it's his fault, but he just couldn't really get into the game. He just felt like he was always on the periphery, of the game. Wasn't getting any service whatsoever. So yeah, he was just nullified essentially, in the game. Elise, oh, what a poor performance, man. Arguably the player of the tournament alongside the likes of, Mbappe, Drew Bellingham's, the Messis and stuff like that, right? But his performance, trying to drop deep for the ball, just not really working. Every time he's dropping deep for the ball, unfortunately for him, Spain are pressing. Spain are on to you like there is no man's business. You had no time, you had no space, you had nothing. So there was nothing that you could really do in terms of giving yourself even that kind of yard because Spain weren't allowing for that. And once that kind of got nullified, and then he's trying to kind of swap every now and again, with Ousmane Dembele or, even Mbappe, from time to time, it just nothing was, there was no space to do any of those kind of things. Dembele, absolutely trash. He was absolutely trash. Like, I'm surprised he stayed on the pitch that long because he offered France absolutely nothing. Ballon d'Or winner, sure, boy, that's crazy. But listen, it was just awful from him. The entire, I'll be honest, the best attacker I felt was actually Bradley Barcola. He was the only one I felt could do something. He offered you something. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, just with the pace to be able to get him behind, potentially beat his man, down the sides. That was the only thing that I saw, from anyone. It was really, really bad. When I'm looking at Tchouaméni and Rabiot, now this is where I think Didier Deschamps got it wrong. Why did you start Tchouaméni? Why did you start him? I'm sorry, but you don't do that in a World Cup semi-final. Tchouaméni is not that much better than even if you believe it, even if you think Tchouaméni is better than Kone, that's fine, right? Absolutely fine. But he's not that type of player where you're like, yeah, we've been playing Mateta up front, but Mbappe is now back from injury. We're going to play Mbappe. It wasn't that kind of that kind of thing. We're talking about two players who are very close in level as it is. You play Kone. You play the guy that you've been playing in the last few games, who's been allowing for you and your team to be able to have some form of control, who's been able to kind of have some, would I say, authority in the middle of the park. You had zero of that. But then again, you're trying to keep to your same tactics, which I understand to a degree, because why change the overall style of play and our own tactics, throughout the tournament? Why would we necessarily change that, considering it got us to this point and you're hoping that your tactics are going to basically outdo Spain's tactics? The problem is you were left in the middle of the park where you've got Tchouaméni and Rabiot up against three, sometimes four, because Alex Baina was then coming in, to the middle of the park, which was then overcrowding it. You had no space. So they couldn't even get control anyway, regardless of whether it was Tchouaméni or Kone or Rabiot or whoever. Rabiot running around like a headless chicken, but again, he was just chasing shadows, constantly chasing shadows. Like I say, Tchouaméni was so non-existent, it was just pointless him being there. Like, it literally was just pointless being there. Like I say, I felt like that was a mistake from Deschamps, in the first place. I genuinely believe that you should have actually have gone with Kone, but would have made that much difference? Probably not. But again, it's fine margins, at this kind of time. Digne, Koundé, I mean, Digne, I felt like he was having a little bit of trouble with Lamine Yamal. Not crazy, but a little bit kind of thing. Again, bit difficult for him down that side with both Lamine Yamal and Pedro Porro, it's in terms of sometimes, them guys, doubling up or over on him on that kind of side. You got Porro running down, the outside of Lamine Yamal when he obviously cuts in. That's always going to cause a problem. And if you don't have a Bradley Barcola or Rabiot or a Saliba who can come across and help out, this is what happens, man. This is exactly what happens, man. So yeah, all in all, France absolutely terrible. Really poor performance, really disappointing from them. And yeah, I mean, like I said, this ain't a group game. Do you know what I mean? Where I can be like, oh yeah, no, it's all right. You can just sort out next game, and then maybe you can iron out those kinks. You're out of the tournament. I mean, third place playoff, whatever. Like no one really cares about them kind of tournaments, them kind of matches, should I say? Anyway, so yeah, very disappointing from a France aspect. Talking about Spain, listen, Spain absolutely magic. Absolutely. But the guys, when I talk about Spain, I talk about Barcelona and I talk about philosophies, and I keep stressing to people about philosophy, style of play. What is your identity? This is just what I mean. And I will keep being biased until people just understand, because I just don't think people understand enough, kind of thing. This is what I'm talking about. And again, it's something that like Thierry Henry did speak about, in when he was talking after the game, over there on doing the news coverage, right? And again, so what's the style of play? What's your identity? What's your ideology? These kids are learning, these players, should I say, sorry, they're learning this from 9 years of age. And he was right. Players like Alex Baena, this isn't a fixture in the side. Obviously Nico Williams is coming back from an injury, so it would be Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, in the kind of side. But guess what? He's been learning this since 9 years of age. Rodri, Cucurella, Laporte, Kubasi, Porro, Lamine Yamal, Olmo, Oyarzabal, whoever comes off the bench. Pedri was on the bench, and they didn't even miss him. We're talking about one of the best midfielders in the world. They didn't even miss. Now, obviously, you've got one of the best midfielders in the world in Rodri, and Fabian Ruiz, who's another one of the best midfielders in the world. Cool. But they didn't even miss that one. They didn't miss that one. All over the park, it was just brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant, I felt. Like, I think everybody just did their jobs. The pressing was probably what I was most impressed with, because I just felt like you needed to do that anyway against France, because I reckon everybody kind of looked at it as like France are going to be really physical, right? Because they supposedly have the bigger and stronger kind of players. I don't know. They got the faster players. I can definitely say that. Like, their attack is absolutely blinding. But everything else, I don't know. I don't know. Kubasi, Laporte, Rodri, I don't really know. I'm not 100% convinced. Do you get what I'm saying? I thought, at the bare minimum, I feel like it's even. Right? But regardless, Rodri in the middle of the park, absolute masterclass there. Just keeping things ticking. It wasn't even amazing. It wasn't even like, oh my God, like Rodri's. It was just calm. Like, I've seen this performance like 1,000 times, whether it be against Burnley or Real Madrid. I've seen this from Rodri so many different times. Fabian Ruiz, again, in the middle of the park. Again, I've seen this 1,000 times. Cucurella, I felt I don't know what it is about Cucurella, and we were talking about it last night on Enz's watch along. Like, I don't know what it is about him, but he just seems to turn into just this prime Maldini, Ashley Cole, Roberto Carlos, Donny, whenever he plays for Spain. I don't know what it is, but he just seems to do that, right? Absolutely brilliant performance. Kubasi, probably the best under 21 defender in the entire world. And I promise you, it is not even close, whoever that second player is. And I don't care who it is. There's no one close to him. He's in the conversations with the older players. He's in those kind of conversations, in my opinion, just my opinion, with the Salibas, with the Gabriels, with all of these Canards. He's in those conversations anyway. I'm not saying he's at the top of those conversations, so please do not get excited when you hear that, and don't get in your feelings, as I know some of you would. I'm not saying he's at the top of that list, but he's in that list. He's in those conversations. He's been in those conversations since he had made his debut. And I saw it. Did you get what I'm trying to say? Like, he's just been on that. People don't watch him enough. Fair enough. I hear it. We watch the other guys a bit more. I hear it. Kubasi is in those conversations. Trust me when I tell you, he's in those kind of conversations. I don't care what he does in the final. I don't care if he makes 4 mistakes in the final. He's in those conversations. he's in those kind of conversations. Pedro Porro, I thought was really, really good in the game. Simon, people talking about, yeah, David Raya or Juan Garcia. Forget all of those guys. Simon is your guy right there for Spain. Whatever you think about the other goalkeepers, you might think they're better, and I would agree with you in terms of as a whole, but clearly, you see what I'm saying? Like, you've got another keeper there who's equally probably not as good, but is for Spain, it almost comes like the Jordan Pickford thing. Jordan Pickford as a goalkeeper, bruv, he's not even in the top 10 to 15 goalkeepers that you might even possibly think of. He may squeeze into top 15 potentially, just because I don't know enough goalkeepers like that. But in terms of like for their country, they are so much better. And I think that's just, what it is when it comes to Simon Laporte. Is this guy still in Saudi? If so, Prav, I'm sorry, Liverpool, you need to be calling and saying, I need him now. I need him now. I need him now, bro. Like, throughout this whole tournament, all I kept thinking was, right, like, Laporte, why are you in Saudi? Well, I mean, I know why you're in Saudi, but like, why are you in Saudi? Did you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you could easily play for one of the best teams out there and it's going to be calm for you. Like, you don't look like you're really out of place. But listen, it is what it is. But yeah, like I say, absolutely brilliant performance from Spain. Like I say, they've executed their plan down to a T, an absolute masterclass. Listen, I've got them for the final. I wanted them to win anyway. I'm very, very happy that they've been able to go out there and get the victory and just shut everybody up. If I'm being 100% honest, I kind of needed that. So yeah, for me and my agendas, yes, my agenda will live on strong. So if we're talking about the final, listen, we don't know yet because England obviously are going to face off against Argentina. I think it's going to be in Spain versus Argentina final. And then Messi will be handing over the kind of mantle to Lamine Yamal. I think like that's just the natural order. I feel like that's how things should be going. Do you get what I'm saying? It don't make sense that England make it to the final. Like, what benefit would that be to anybody? Doesn't benefit my life. So yeah, for my agendas, I need Argentina to get to the final and then lose against Spain's Lamine Yamal. But listen, man, we'll wait and see. But masterclass, absolute masterclass from what do you call it? From Spain, absolutely thoroughly deserved their victory. And yeah, France, it is what it is, man. It really is what it is. Guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Who was your man of the match? What were you surprised by? What were you disappointed by? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section and keep the same energy. Stay blessed, and I will catch you guys real soon.